Hello, my fellow cigar smokers, and welcome to Smoker Spot. We are doing another review, and today that's some special stick. It is the Andalusian Bull by La Flor Dominicana. Let's see. My friends, this stick here is really hard to get at the moment. Kind of popular. Frankly, I never smoked one before, and that's the only one I got. A buddy of mine gave it to me just today. A few numbers and facts before we start. Andalusian Bull, like I said, made by La Flor Dominicana. It has a ring gauge of 64 at the biggest part. You see the vitola is kind of unusual, and is 6.5 inches long. Beautiful cigar. It's looking great. The wrapper is looking great. Nice and dark, kind of reddish. Lovely. They have a very nice band. Frankly, I'm not quite sure what's on there. Looks like a mixture between a human and I think it's a guy who's fighting a bull. But it's really hard to identify. However, a few facts about the cigar. It has an Ecuadorian wrapper. It's a Sumatra seed, so also kind of unusual. And in the inside we find mostly in the binder and in the filler Dominican tobacco. As far as I know, Criollo is in there. That's all I know. But more important than numbers and facts is the flavor. Well, the smell, just like, don't know, like some typical dry hay or grass, something like this. Not very strong, frankly. But let's see what cultural is telling us. Today, with a scissor, click. Looking good. Wow, much more than what we had in the smell. A sweetness. A little bit of pepper and some spice that I can feel already on my lips. Very promising. Toasting it a little bit around the edges, but I can already see that the cigar doesn't like the fire very much. Yeah, it's not taking the fire very well. And sometimes that's because the cigar is a little bit too fresh or was stored in an environment that was a little bit where the humidity was a little bit too high. That can happen. But sometimes it just happens because the tobacco is the way it is. We have no explanation for everything that happens with our cigars. But telling you, first few puffs, great. Draws on point, very good. Easy going, not too easy, just perfect. There's a little bit of pepper is there, but it already developing some creaminess. Even on the first few puffs, you can feel, you can taste that it's a very well balanced cigar. Let's see how it develops, but so far, so good. Guys, it's one of these cigars that I was looking like, I think the last year or so, I was looking for this cigar, and it was literally nowhere to be found. Wherever I looked, sold out. So I was really lucky, and I was really happy that my buddy brought me this cigar. It was a kind of surprise. He just was coming to me and said, "I have something for you." What is it? Oh, a cigar. He had it in a little box, and I was Andalusian Bull. Wow, that was great. And it's like there's one other cigar that is, before I'm going a little bit more into the Andalusian Bull, there are some cigars, there is more myth about it than facts. One of these cigars is definitely the Andalusian Bull. Couple of people in the last years were telling me something about the Andalusian Bull, how good it is, and so on and so on. And you really have to be careful that you keep your expectations low, because when everybody's telling you that's the best fucking cigar in the world like this, then you better be careful, because at the end, even when it's a good cigar, then you're disappointed because it's not the best cigar in the world, So I'm always trying to keep my expectations low, and if I'm surprised in a positive way, then it's even better. But it's hard. The other cigar is from Cohiba, the Cuban Cohiba, and I'm always a little bit puzzled about the how you pronounce this series. In Germany, very often we say Behike. In other places in the world, they say Behike. And even if you're going in here in Germany, and I think also in other parts of the world, we have something that is called La Casa del Habano. That's a special place where they're just selling Cuban cigars, and mostly they have also a lounge where you can smoke it. And even we have one in Frankfurt and in other cities too. And I checked with several guys. Always when I'm checking, do you have Cohiba Behike in stock? And sometimes they tell me, well, you know what? It's called Behike, and the other guys tell me it's Behike. So not quite sure. Anyway, you know what I mean. Cohiba Behike or Behike. You can choose the way you want to pronounce it by your own. But it's the Andalusian Bull and this Cohiba. That are two cigars. There are so many myths about it and they're hard to find. Very special cigars. But never had an Andalusian Bull. But I had already a couple of Cohiba Behikes. They're coming in 3 sizes. Anyhow, we don't want to talk about Cohiba right now. But even with low expectations, very good start. However, the burn at the very beginning is not perfect, but still okay. I wonder how the ash and the burn will develop. I will just keep on smoking it a little bit, and we talk a little bit later about more details and another good story I have to tell you. Stay with me. So guys, we are at the end of the first third of our Andalusian Bull. You know, while I was smoking, I was a little bit worried about the burn because it was not as good as I hoped, but good cigar corrected itself. It's still not perfect, but really okay. Ash is good. The draw was getting a little bit tighter, but also still okay. But the flavors, guys, the flavors, they developed. We have this overall creaminess. We have this sweetness. And I really have a very strong image in my mind about the dark chocolate when I'm smoking this cigar. And in combination with the chocolate, there are some nutty flavors. Don't know if you ever had this chocolate with nuts in it. That's how it tastes. That's the kind of sweetness I'm getting from this cigar. Very, very good, very unusual, a very unusual sweetness, but great. You know, since this is such a big cigar, I was already talking about the Vitola. That's kind of special Vitola. It's like a mixture between a pyramid and a Salomonis. But that's a really big guy, and I love the Vitola. Fine, really. Well, since such a big cigar, I thought this time, I'm telling you a little bit when we're finishing the first third and coming into the second third, and then we're doing a break. And then I'm telling you when we're in the last third, shortly before finishing, I will tell you what I finally think about the cigar. What do you think? A little bit more about La Flor Dominicana and what is it all about. They're sitting in the Dominican Republic, in Tamboril. There's their tabacalera, and it's Lito Gomez. Lito Gomez is the guy who is running La Flor Dominicana together with his wife Ines. And they also have their own farm where they grow their own tobacco that they are using for their cigars. They are not really. They're somewhere between a boutique cigar and a little bit bigger. They're not like one of the big global players. They're kind of small, in comparison to, let's say, General Cigars, Rocky Patel, the Davidoffs, and so on. But it's sad that they're focusing even more on quality and not so much on the output, on how much cigars they are doing, which is a good thing. And it also explains because the Andalusian Bull is so hard to get. They're not making so many cigars. Good thing. It's like when you're going in a restaurant and the card is just like a one-pager. I love that. On the other hand, when I'm ordering something, or when I'm going into a restaurant, they have like 200 dishes, 200 meals and different menus, and they have a Chinese card and Mexican and a German card, whatever. Then I think always, guys, just focus on one thing that you can do good. That's something that Lito and La Flor Dominicana is obviously doing on this one, because it's a pretty good cigar. His story is very interesting too. The Gomez family, Lito Gomez was born in Spain, and they kind of traveled later on to Uruguay, where he and his brother spent his childhood. Then Lito and his brother moved to Canada and worked there like as a dishwasher, living the simple life. And then somehow they made some money and moved to Florida, where then Lito and his wife Ines opened a jewelry shop, and they were robbed, and the whole inventory was stolen, and it said it was something like $400,000. And then was some point in his life where he decided, okay, maybe jewelry and jewels in general, that's not what I want to do. So let's do some cigars. And then they moved to the Dominican Republic and opened their tabacalera and keep on doing cigars. So that's now really short, but I think that's a real interesting and funny story. How somebody's is coming to the point of making cigars. Great. Great flavors. Just great flavors. That's one of the cigar where you just want to lean back, smoke the cigar and enjoy, and forget about doing the video or review. Just enjoy the cigar. I'm trying to do this now up to the final third, and then very briefly I will come back and tell you how it was. So we are at the end of our Andalusian Bull. And I have some mixed feelings about this cigar. On the positive side is definitely the flavor, the aromas, and the development of the cigar. In the last third here, there's still the creaminess. The strength was kind of stepping up, so it got even stronger, which is perfectly fine if you're into strong cigars. And we still have this beautiful chocolate nutty flavor, perfect sweetness. So all the aromas, all the taste overall is great, really. On the negative side, however, is really the construction of the cigar. Here you can see one more example of the burn, which is not very good. It's always correcting itself after a few minutes or so, but I just don't like that. And also the ash is kind of flaky. that's not as perfect as it should be for this Andalusian Bull. Another point is the draw. It was perfect at the beginning, and I already said it in the second third. The draw was getting a little bit tighter, and towards the end it wasn't getting even more tight. So I had to cut it one more time, which worked out fine, but that's also not really perfect. More or less, if I compare it to other really premium sticks that are playing somewhere in the same league, that would be, for example, the Liga Privada number 9 or the Davidoff Robusto Intenso. That are two really expensive premium sticks that are playing at the top level. Construction is perfect and the flavors are perfectly balanced. And over here we only have the flavors, which are great, and the construction kinda lacks a little bit. So it's still a wonderful cigar, a really good cigar, but I wished the construction would be better. But that's the way it is. Good cigar. But I was telling you before about expectations and so, but even leaving that aside, construction was not good, flavors are good, period. Anyhow, I'm happy that I had it. I'm happy that I was finally able to smoke that Andalusian Bull. And I'm really looking forward, maybe I'm getting another one in a year or so, and then I will smoke it again. You know, maybe sometimes it's just this cigar where the construction was not so good and all the others are good. Unfortunately, I cannot compare it to other Andalusian Bulls because it's the first one I had and it's the only one I had. But I was happy to share this experience with you. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I hope you will smoke a good cigar. I hope you have a wonderful day. Most importantly, stay safe and stay healthy. See you around at Smoker Spot.